Well, Big Mad kind of describes how I feel right now. Um, Forgive me for the but I'm just trying to find the words. Such a horrible loss. Now, I said last week my attitude today would determine based off of the outcome. I don't want to say so much as the outcome of the game, uh, but so much as as a prime example, how we were gonna if we were gonna lose the game, how we were gonna lose the game. That was one of my point of emphasis last week uh, when I talked about the victory over the Titans. I also said that we cannot afford to kick field goals against this team. That's a recipe for failure and to lose. And again, it showed today. Today is a prime example of what I was freaking talking about last week. Already, people want to put point blame at Sean McVay and his play calling when it's not to blame. Fans just I don't know what it is with specific fans, especially with Rams fans. It's like I don't know if they're using if they're using the same eyes that some of us are seeing here. What lost us the game are those two blocked field goals. Yes, I understand some of the penalties, but at the end of the day, what lost us the game are those two blocked field goals. Our special teams line did not do their job. They did not hold up their responsibility. That was part of the reason why we lost the game. The other part of the reason why we lost that game, again, in the red zone, we failed to score touchdowns in the red zone. We were forced to kick field goals. You can blame McVay and the play calling all you want. At the end of the day, you have to execute. And there was no execution, especially in that area, whether it was our offensive line, whether it was Matthew Stafford. The blame goes everywhere. It goes everywhere. You can't just look at the results and say McVay is the reason why we lost this game. McVay is not the reason why we lost this game. The lack of execution in the red zone and third down and close, not converting and throwing and overthrowing Puka Nakua or overthrowing Devontae Adams, things like and the run blocking was for the most part it was pretty good today, but when we needed it, it wasn't there. It wasn't there. Again, people want to blame McVay for the play calling. Again, it's not McVay's fault. He's not on the field out there trying to execute the play. He can't hold these guys by the hands and tell them this is where you cannot do that. You cannot. And in some of those instances where fans want to question some of these calls, I understood looking at the game. I understood. There wasn't a thing for me there to question why they were doing what they were doing, and at that particular time. At the end of the day, for all you people that want to sit there and point the finger at Sean McVay and as the reason why we lost this game, he is not the reason why we lost this game. He is not. We lost on all three phases. All three phases. We cannot play one half of good football and expect to win this game. We cannot sit there and settle for field goals when we're in the red zone. We can't miss blocks when we're a special team. Like, come on, really? Now, look, I said this during the game. The Rams defense is playing like if that's Tom Brady on the other side of the field. That's not Tom Brady on the other side of that field. That's not Patrick Mahomes on the other side of that field. And the defense, what happened to the defense? Again, the lack of execution. Where? Where was that defense that we saw in the first half and the second half? Where was it? It was nowhere to be found. We cannot win football games this way. I am I am aggravated. I am frustrated by this loss because we should not have lost this football game. Again, blame goes to the offense, blame goes to the defense, blame goes to the special teams. They get paid to do their job. They did not. Nobody executed when they needed to execute. If you listen to the episode last week, I specifically said we cannot afford to kick field goals against this Philadelphia Eagles football team. We cannot. We had them, we could have had them buried. And you let them off the hook. You gave them a glimpse of momentum, and then it just all fell apart in the blink of an eye. It all fell apart. So I said the defense takes responsibility for this loss too. 100%. The defense takes responsibility for this loss too. The pie goes three ways. I'm sorry. I'm not pointing the finger at at Sean McVay for this loss. I'm not. You're a player. You get paid the money. You should be able to execute. They did not execute offensively, defensively, and special teams. They did not execute. Now, Sean McVay will go into the press conference and put the blame at it, put the finger at himself, and say that he put this team in a bad position. And that's what great coaches are supposed to do. That's what great coaches are supposed to say. They're supposed to say things like that. And that's part of the reason why us as Rams, a lot of us as Rams fans respect him because he's not throwing his guys under the bus. At the same time, looking at what I'm looking at the entire game, I'm looking at it like we cannot kick field goals against this team. We cannot. How did Jalen Hurts go from having 20 yards in the first half to over 200 yards in the second half? Because the defense got complacent. They got comfortable. They thought that a 26-7 lead was good enough, and it was not good enough against this football team. And it showed because after that Kyron Williams touchdown, we didn't score a single point after. Not a single point afterwards. They held us in check. They didn't lay down. Meanwhile, the offense, the defense, and special teams sat back and act like, again, that is not Tom Brady under quarterback over there in Philadelphia. That is not Tom Brady. That is not Joe Montana. That is not Patrick Mahomes. That is not that quarterback. That is not. With all due respect to Jalen Hurts, that is not who we're looking at throwing that football over there. And you let them walk away with the victory. The Rams blew this game. No question about it. What's the positives out of it? Okay, well, the long touchdown pass to Devontae Adams. It's great. 100%. Kyrie Williams ran the football well. Blake Corum ran the football well. That's great. That's all great. And I'm not taking away from those guys and Puka Nakua and the way they played. To me, outside of Sean McVay, neither Devontae, neither Puka, neither Kyron, neither Blake are to blame for this loss. They're not. It goes to everybody else on the offense. I'm sorry, and that's including Stafford. And I'm not always critical of Stafford. I'm not. But I have to question too, how much is that back really bothering him? Because he overthrew Devontae quite a few times. And this is not the first time he's overthrown him in this game. He overthrew him in the last game. He overthrew him against Houston as well. The offensive line did not play well. They had their moments. They had their moments. Did Kevin Dotson go out? Help? No, it didn't help. Steve Avila being out injured? No. We had an opportunity to still win in Philadelphia, and we lost. Where was all the pressure that our front four was putting on Philadelphia in the second half, like they did in the first half? Where were the clamps that our secondary had in the first half? Because in the second half it was missing. And you can't put those kicks on Cardi. Why are you allowing the line of the Eagles to penetrate and block two field goals? Again, I know people want to blame McVay, but it's not his fault. We got the Indianapolis Colts next week at home. We just got to see how that looks. We have to be able to bounce back and put another win in the win and put another W in the win column. It's that simple. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. We got to come prepared. And I'm not talking coaching staff. I'm talking players. We got to come prepared. We got a ball and we got a point to prove. And we got to show them what the Rams are really about and what Rams football is all about. No BSing around next week. None. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. In the meantime, I'll catch you guys next week. Horns up. Let's go Rams.